Дурут салам. Как вы поживаете? Мне очень хорошо. Ну хорошо. Okay, so Magomed Ankalaev. All right. This guy's fantastic. He is the best player that manipulates tempo I've seen in quite a long time. You would have to go to Gordon Ryan to see someone who manipulates tempo like this. It's deceptive. When you first watch him, you think, wow, that is a slow high kick. What's the deal? Why is he telegraphing it so much? And then you realize, oh, he's telegraphing it and landing it at a very high rate because he shows it, then you do whatever it is you do. Once you commit, then he either decides to high kick or he goes in for something else, most likely a Morotegari single or double leg, Dagestansky style with either the head out or the head buried judo style, but that is when you have a kind of a yoko gatami, a sideways hold, and you know it's usually a standing yoko, and very good at that, very heavy-handed. You know, it's weird. I don't think he ever swings full bore. I think he's always just throwing at like 30-40%. I don't ever think he tries to hit anybody as hard as he can, because if he does, obviously I think he could do more damage. I think he does that because he doesn't want to break his hands. I think that he's got like severe pop in there. I think he's got one hitter quitter pop. He just doesn't want to put that damage on his hands. He's a very smart guy. All these Dagestansky, Sambuisti, they're all very, very smart. Очень умный. Очень. Отлично. И крутой. You know, he's very fearless. I also took a look at his opponent, Volkan Oizdemir. I saw a guy who goes 1,000 miles an hour, goes a bit faster than he can, tries to barrage people, which works when you're fighting people that you are either on your level or lower. But when you're going to fight somebody like Ankalaev, he's just going to make you get off balance. And this is where Sambo is so effective, because you have to have the understanding of balance that comes with years of judo training. This is where they really did themselves a service, is because they said, hey, you know, we're already wrestlers. We have a culture of wrestling. We understand how the single and double leg works. Let's stand and then work on Kazushi. So even though you don't see a ton of elaborate judo throws out of the guys, you do see a unbelievable understanding of Kazushi, of unbalancing, of torquing, of tsukuri, fitting, and kake, of executing the throws and the pins. And Sambo, they really like the roll. Grab and roll, throw and roll. They really love the throws. They really love the rolls into submissions. And especially with the smish. And what smish is essentially is a reverse close guard. What they're trying to do is get mount or high mount and then squeeze, either crossing their legs or riding a horse style. Really squeeze in there, sunogui, with their legs. Really squeeze and then just hammer, and ride the surfboard. And since they have all those years of judo training, they keep posture no matter what the guy underneath is doing, which makes it hard for him to escape. And then they just creep up higher and higher and mount until they can get an S mount or something, which would lead to a submission, or shimiwaza, or which is a submission. Um, and Ankalaev he showed the ability to do all that. I mean, so on tape, you can definitely see the Master of Sport Sambo. So you would think, okay, he's got the rest of it. He just doesn't usually need it because by that time he's already knocked someone out, or they've disallowed the fight because whenever he's raining the bombs, the air sirens go off and then they stop the fight. So you don't really see the next step of scooting up into mount, which some of the lower weight guys do, and finishing off with a Jujigatame, Uregarami, or Shimiwaza. And so that's what I thought of the Ankalaev fight. I don't think Volkan can keep his balance. Volkan's going to go there and throw haymakers and throw kicks and go at a fast pace. It's not going to disrupt Ankalaev at all. And that kind of barrage mentality, Magomed is going to use to off balance him and get him on the mat. And when it's on the mat, I don't know what his Oizadmir, I don't know what his ground training is, but what I could guess with confidence is that it's not going to be the same as Muhammad Ankalaev, right? So, and then we get into some of the other fights. Like I've said, let's recap. Błachowicz contra Teixeira. I took another look at Jan, and the thing that he does really well is he keeps his posture, and everything is a setup to something else. He's not throwing a combo just to return striking. He throws a punch because that's going to lead into his shoot, and his shot is going to lead into his gatame, and his gatame is going to lead into his. So he very smart fighter with a good game plan. Glover is the same way. I was really impressed with Glover. Like I've mentioned, I just don't bet against Błachowicz. And this is all this is. This is just a pick on reputation, and that's it. Petr Yan, very disciplined, compact fighter. Doesn't need a big cock. Doesn't have a large recoil. Gets a lot on it. Gets a lot of them off. Very impressive striker. Very impressive. Now books, just with the boxing, very, very, very impressive. Sandhagen again is a fantastic striker on paper. I just think that Petr Yan is going to get him off balance because he needs a lot of real estate to cock and fire. And it's not even the cocking, because he can just chuck him without cocking, but he needs a recoil, a pretty vast recoil, because he's so long, and he tries to get so much on him that I think that Yan is going to turn that into a wrist hold, Russian tie, whatever, and then turn that into some sort of trip or nagewaza, and then it's going to turn into kind of either a ground and pound or a stand and pound. He really likes the stand and pound, just up on the chopsticks, just laying them out. He gets a lot of power driving from his toes up to his hands, so he's very comfortable with just standing up, but cordoning the guy off to the cage, and that's probably how it'll end. Either standing in a barrage or down low in a barrage. And I think that Petr Yan learned his lesson. He's going to keep his discipline. I don't see him losing the interim the way he lost the last title, which just sucks. You lose your discipline, man. You kick a guy when he's down, and that's against the rules. And when that's against the rules, you lose your title. And it also sucks that the other guy got a title by getting knocked the fuck out, and then now he's going to have to fucking fight for it again he's probably going to get knocked the fuck out again. Because Piotr Jan, I didn't see anywhere on his paper that it said he was a master of sport in Sambo. It said he's a master of sport in MMA. I'm assuming that's master of sport in Sambo just because American writers don't know what Sambo is. And he shows all of the telltale signs of having a wonderful understanding of judo, which would be from the Sambo training. And I think that is just insurmountable for someone like Corey Sandhagen. Sandhagen, again, is just going to have to just swing for the fences early and hope that he tags him up once or twice, gets him woozy, and then goes in for the kill. Which, whenever you're playing a striking game, that's the downfall, man. It's like shooting threes in basketball. You live by the three, you die by the three. You make a bunch of them, you're in a lead, and that lead is insurmountable, but you miss a couple in a row, and now all of a sudden you got to take high percentage shots, and that hill becomes insurmountable. So when you're a striking artist, and that is what you are, and you don't have extensive submission, ground-based submission grappling, whether that's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whether that's a master sport in Sambo, whether that's a black belt in Judo, and you happen to be lucky enough that you got your Judo training a long time ago when they taught a real focused Niwaza and Nagewaza, throwing and grappling at the same time, because like a lot of people don't know this, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just like one of the degrees of black belt where they teach the guard position. Then the Brazilians went back into the old Jiu-Jitsu, found the flow. There's an old haiku, I forget it, but it's something like being like the waves, because the waves, they flow back really quiet, and they amass, and then they crash, and that's how you're supposed to do Newaza and Nagewaza. But it's a big deal in the Jiu-Jitsu scrolls, that concept of flowing like the waves, and that's what they did. They also added some kind of, not gymnastics, but they took it to another level, and it's pretty awesome whenever you see a next level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy take flow to that next level, because that way they're always fighting at 20 or 30% and they can roll all day, and that's really the point of it. That's what the Carlos and Helio Gracie were trying to do, was just try to find a really effective way of fighting while maximizing the advantage, and the way they chose to do that was through guard position. And Glover also has excellent top game, and when you find a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy who knows how to crush on top, that is a hard motherfucker to beat. That is just a hard motherfucker to beat. It doesn't matter what the rule sets are. If you can Sambo on top and BJJ on bottom, you're a tough motherfucker to beat. You just are. You just are. And if you have a striking package that's a little bit of Muay Thai, a little bit of dirty boxing, a little bit of Taekwondo, a little bit of Wushu, you just pick the strike that works for you on the low kick, on the high kick. You probably need some sort of heel kick. And then you have a from the hip striking package, and then a boxing up top striking package, probably Muay Thai, because that will help your submission. You're a tough motherfucker. It doesn't matter what your weight class is. Obviously, the big boys like to throw strikes first, because there's more knockout pop than the littler guys, and the littler guys have to rely on technique a lot because they can't do the weight cuts and generate so much power. But this Błachowicz and Teixeira fight is going to be epic. It's going to be epic. This Piotr Jan and Corey Sandhagen fight's going to be epic. Because whenever you're fighting a striking fight, anyone could win, because all you need is one on the button. That's it. That's it. And I think Sandhagen has the kicks to be able to knock anyone out. Me and him could go and fight. No weight cuts, just go out and fight, and he's got the kicks to knock anyone out. I just don't think his skill is anywhere near Petr Yan. I don't think his grappling is on the same planet as Petr Yan. Sandhagen's grappling is like, it is so, it's not even in the same galaxy. It is like in the underworlds compared to Petr Yan. Petr Yan is doing Sambo, and Corey Sandhagen got cut from the JV wrestling team. I hope he goes out there and shows that he's got, since the last time I watched him fight, he's now got a fucking Glover Teixeira style black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because I'd love to see it, but I just don't believe it. Islam versus Hooker. Couture Hooker. Couture Hooker. Couture Hooker. When Islam says, "Who is Dan Hooker?" I fucking believe him. Because Dan Hooker is an elite striker. Elite. Elite. World class, even. He's amazing. He only has some small belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Don't look at the belt, because that just is, he just does that for the submission. It's the same thing as Khamzat. It's just for the submissions, although Khamzat is an Olympic level wrestler. So Khamzat and Hooker are on two different planets. Khamzat's way up here, and Hooker is kind of somewhere in here. As far as submission grappling goes, Hooker isn't in the same stratosphere, galaxy. It's not even the same language. Islam is world class, is galactic class, way up there, and then Hooker's grappling is good enough to be in the MMA. And that's the truth. Because he's a world-class striker. He loves that Muay Thai, dirty boxing, New Zealand shit that they're doing. And that's probably going to be the next striking game, is that shit coming out of New Zealand, Australia, that Muay Thai, dirty funk, whatever the fuck it is. It's awesome. It's amazing. Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, Dan Hooker, just throwing bombs. Volkanovski just laying out the bombs. I think they only teach striking to people with long arms. That's my new, I think that's why it's so next level, is they just look for people who have arms that go down past their kneecaps. Hey, want to make some money? Yeah. All right, hit that guy. No, hit him like this. All right, we're going to set up a fight. Then we have Alexander Volkov versus Marcin Tybura. I didn't even look at the tape. I'll look at the tape. Maybe I'll look him up and make a video. Obviously, we have Khamzat versus Zhang Liang. And that one is, yeah. Can Jingy fucking reach out there and connect with Khamzat and give him problems? Yeah. Jingy could give Khamzat a healthy Khamzat problems. Now, if Khamzat is not fit or slipping or slow or rusty or whatever, Jingy can knock him out. It's the truth. It's true. I'm a Khamzat fan. Inshallah, I love Khamzat. Okay? But if you are not on your A game at the highest level, somebody is going to be on their A game and teach you a lesson in being fit. Every fight, every day. You can't, there ain't no days off. You can't phone one in. You know, I don't care if you're John Jones, if you're Habib, it doesn't matter. Khamzat, it doesn't matter. Jingy can go out there and turn into the leech and just touch you up for a couple minutes. It doesn't matter who you are. You get hit by Jingy. I'm calling him Jingy because I have a hard time pronouncing his name. But you get hit with him, especially if he gets you moving, so you can roll into one and he can catch you with one of those hooks or jabs. You're going down. Magomed Ankalaev, obviously, is just a master of tempo, big strike package, uses that left high kick to knock a lot of motherfuckers out, uses faking the left high kick to get guys to commit, comes in, drops bombs, both hands are heavy, both hands are really heavy, can low his hips, really drop bombs. Sometimes he just doesn't want to, just because he doesn't have to, and it's whatever. Does Volkan have the sambo or judo game, or even Brazilian jiu-jitsu game to Tomonage when someone's raining down haymakers. Maybe, I don't know. I just haven't seen it. So I'm just going to go with Ankalaev. Then we have Shamil versus Alexichuk. I'll have to look that up. And then I want to take a look at Magomed Mustafayev and Damir. I'll take a look at that fight, and I'll make another video. But this is just me going down the card, round one. So, salamati, salut. Salud. Cheers. Enjoy Subamericana. Значит, чай Subamerikansky. This is tea from South America called Juanana. I mix it with Huayusa, the two South American rainforest teas, and I love them. So, Khorda. Khorda Hafiz.